the American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all men have a right to equal justice under law and equal opportunity to share in the common good. We believe that all men have the right to freedom of thought and expression. We believe that all men are created equal because they are created in the image of God. From this faith, we will not be moved.
Extra, hear all about it. Extra, hear all about it. Trump and the United States have launched an attack on Iran, attacking 3 nuclear sites in Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo. Apparently, Fordo was looked on as the most significant of the 3 sites, but Trump is declaring a very successful U.S. attack on the Iranian nuclear sites, and that this could potentially end things quickly, and hopefully it does, that this doesn't lead into a much larger conflict, that hopefully things can take place. One thing you got to say, Trump is a man of his word. He talked about that Iran had 60 days to get a deal done, a nuclear deal done, and that they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran simply did not agree to any type of a deal. Day 61, Israel attacked Iran. Not saying I want war at all, but certainly. But Israel attacked Iran. Trump threatened that, we still have a chance to do a deal before we, potentially get involved here. And here we are on Saturday, June 21st, 2025. U.S. attacks Iran, hitting 3 nuclear sites, have things on in the background on silent. Apparently, at least 6 of the bunker buster bombs were dropped. So I'm not sure what was taking place there, other than to maybe eliminate some of the underneath facilities in these facilities. Maybe the basement type of area where they could be potentially hiding more and more weapons and such. So it's pretty crazy. He said if Trump says a quote full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. He later reposted a screenshot. Stuff is moving. For a screenshot of open source intel announcing Fordo is gone. So that'd be like the Fordo facility, anyway. Pretty wild. Fordo's. So this is with FoxNews.com anyway. Fordo, Iran's main underground enrichment site, was difficult for the Israeli army to destroy due to its location, leading to requests for the U.S. to use its B-2. So B-2 stealth bombers, pretty cool, at least in terms of the airplanes used, and 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs. So that's kind of, I guess, what they were requesting us to assist with here, them being Israel. All planes are safely on their way home, according to Trump, so that's good. Pretty cool-looking airplanes, no doubt about it. B-2 bombers, wow. So stealth bombers making an attack on Iran. I do believe the stealth bombers were used way back in 1991, hitting Iraq years ago, way back in 1991. But again, that was a completely different circumstance. What was it? Iraq was invading Kuwait, and that was to kind of push them back at the time. And then 2003, I don't know. I'm not sure what that was for, honestly, other than just to say, there was a terror attack, and I guess we're blaming you because we had a war with you 12 years ago, doggone it. That's pretty much what that was, I swear. I don't know what else, other than, of course, to open things up to the central banking system. that was another thing to open up that towards the New World Order and such. I'm sure old Bush wanted to, young Bush, to keep that moving, and well, they did. They got their central banking system in Iran. That's terrific. So, did I say Iran? In Iraq. In Iraq, they got their central banking system in Iraq. I apologize for that terrible mistake there. Iraq and Iran are two very different countries, even though they're side by side. They were saying it's unclear which planes were used in the attacks. However, Fox News Digital on Saturday morning reported that 6 B-2 stealth bombers from Whitman Air Force in Missouri. Wow. So they just went from Missouri straight to Iran. Wow, man. Appear to be on their way to a U.S. Air Force base in Guam. The bombers reportedly refueled after taking off from Missouri, suggested they launched without fuel tanks, without full fuel tanks due to the weight of carrying bunker buster bombs. Okay, that makes sense. And what do they say, 30,000 pounds? That's a strong airplane, isn't it? But I suppose, yeah, I mean, every airplane is strong, but it's pretty impressive when you think about that. We're the only ones that have the bunker busters, apparently. And, well, that's what they're talking about, a possible way to possibly even kill the Ayatollah Khomeini, the supreme leader of Iran, as well. But I'm not sure we're necessarily going for that at the moment, because that could really open things up. But if they were to surrender and move on, then so be it. Maybe the U.S. can reinstall the Shah, which would be a better thing. Unfortunately, not sure if that's going to happen anytime superly soon. But interesting to note is if those planes went from the Air Force base to Iran, pretty much on a straight line flight, they would get to Iran. Or if they just went straight east, they would eventually get to Iran. That's pretty wild when you look at that. 69,000 miles. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So they can fly almost 7,000 miles before refueling. Well, there's your fuel efficiency. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. What is this quote here? Congratulations. Yeah, so this is a quote. Congratulations to our great American warriors. Is this Trump? They're not saying who it is, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, it's like it got covered up, but congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for all. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm guessing that's President Trump there saying that, because it doesn't say actually who it is. That's unfortunate if it got covered up or something underneath an ad. That would be nice if it was to be over right here. Just boom, like that's it. We can move on now. Clearly, the U.S. is capable of such an attack, and they took out those nuclear facilities. The good news is it sounds like these facilities were evacuated, according to the Iranian officials. They were evacuated a long time ago because they had a feeling it was going to happen. So that's the good thing, minimize death here. That would be great, one way or another. And then maybe it's like, okay, so I guess it is what it is. The fear is, though, well, one of the leaders over there in Iran said something about you can't bomb knowledge, though. Like, we know how to do it now. Maybe that's what they're saying. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's what they mean. It's like, okay, yeah, you broke it, but we can rebuild it. Nah, boo boo. So, not sure what to make of that, other than, oh boy, that was what one official said in Iran, as they might say. Iran's primary nuclear facilities include Banab, Tehran, Ramsar, Parchin, Iraq, Fordo, of course, Isfahan, Natanz, the last three, of course, are ones that were hit, Ardakan, Sakand, Karun, Yazd, Bushehr, Nagratan, and Gachin. So those are all kind of going from north, south, east, west, and all that. So Gachin is way down at the south central part, around the that's not the Red Sea, that's the Gulf, that's the Persian Gulf. Yep, of course, the Persian Gulf. Hello, right? And that's where maybe obviously carriers can work their way into there, and things get very interesting when that happens, as carriers, submarines, and such working their way in. But these were stealth bombers just going on a bombing mission to take out those nuclear facilities, and apparently they did. So pretty crazy, to say the least. That would be nice if this is all that it takes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Just praying to God that tensions can cease that you aren't going to hear from, the Chinas, the Russias, the other potential Iranian allies that could make things a little bit scarier, to say the least. Apparently, the uranium mines are, the Sagand, Naritan, and Gachin. So those are kind of the southern central areas and such when they talk about uranium, but civilian nuclear sites. So luckily those civilian nuclear sites were abandoned before they were hit, at least from what they say at the end of the day. Sorry for the train coming. That we get multiple trains on Saturdays. Seems like it's very active on Saturdays, from the morning all the way until very, very late into the night and into the wee small hours of Sunday morning. So I guess that's the Trump train. I don't know. Again, you notice I'm not like, woohoo, we bombed Iran. I'm not like that. Back in '91, it was like, oh my gosh, we're at war with Iraq. It was really kind of exciting but scary, in a way. But you felt like, well, like the country backed that one because of Kuwait being invaded and such. So that was a huge problem at the time, way back in '91. Unfortunately, the leader of the United States and the free world was basically focused on a new world order, which a lot of these powers that be still very much are. For anyone to say like it's old news, so when people say old news with the new world order, you're hoping they mean it's already out, like we know it exists, versus it's old news like, yeah, that was then. I mean, come on, that was just Bush talking. That was just Bush talking out of whatever side of his mouth. You hope it's old news in terms of, oh yeah, it's been going on. It's been going on for a while, and yes, it still is, yes. So that's the old news part that I would agree with. Somebody told me that one time, but they didn't really clarify what type of old news they're meaning. Is it, like I just said, is it old news in terms of like, that's like talking about like the JFK assassination, like in terms of like it already happened, or something, like it's old news, or like it's something that's still an ongoing thing, like it's been out for a while. So, okay, I just repeated myself like a fool. I apologize for that and wasting your time with that, but just again, hoping for the best here in this situation. I mean, what more is there to say other than just pray for the soldiers, pray for the people of Iran, pray for the people of Israel, pray for this world, pray for the world, pray for, as a born-again Christian, I mean, we stand on God here for the right decisions to be made. Do not look to just rush to war and start things all up again. And we all remember many years ago, way back in 2005, I kind of brought this up briefly in the previous episode just a few days ago when Trump was talking about the unconditional surrender, Ulysses S. Grant style, during the Civil War. Unconditional surrender, that's your only option. Was that way back in 2005, we were kind of thinking it would be something like this, just like a bombing mission. You hit the nuclear facilities, and it's not like a huge ground war where it goes on for months and years, and trillions of dollars are lost, thousands to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions of lives are lost. Resources are exhausted. People are stuck there for whatever, 10 years or more, just like to kind of act like a policeman, in a foreign world. That's just, insane. It's difficult and very sad. And you hope and pray to God that we're not headed in that direction. I can't imagine Trump doing that, and especially with the way he went after Jeb Bush, talking about George W. Bush, his older brother, that there were no weapons of mass destruction during that attack on Iraq back in 2003, because there really was nothing going on. It was more of just almost like a mafioso attack, like, oh, you tried to kill my dad, so I'm going to kill you. And that's kind of what it felt more like, George W. Bush going into Iraq at the time. Whereas even the left wingers like Dan Barrero locally, we're talking about if we should be anywhere, we should be in Iran, because their fingerprints are a lot more on what's been going on with the 9/11 attack and such. Now, obviously, way back years ago, around the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, I don't doubt Iran has to do with a lot of terror in this world, and that Iran celebrated profusely. I can't say the word correctly, but they celebrated when those attacks took place. But at the end of the day, sure, the attack happened. There was a terror attack on that day. But I don't think the buildings should have collapsed as simply as they did. Clearly, there was like a urban renewal thing going on. It's like, oh yeah, you know, they're going to attack, and we're, you know, we're just going to kind of let it happen because we just are. We're not going to try to thwart their attack. Well, does that happen? And then, oh, well, look at that. The buildings collapsed. I can't believe it. The buildings collapsed. Doggone it. You know, that type of thing. Because, you know, even like, you know, what was his name? Osama bin Laden himself said, I couldn't believe the attack was that successful. How did, you know, even he couldn't believe that the buildings actually came down. Because it didn't make a whole lot of sense, actually. Especially the one that didn't get hit by an airplane at all. One called Building 7 or the Solomon Brothers building. It just went down. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So, but there were fires in the building. Oh, yeah. Building's going to collapse because there might be a small fire. There's a fire or two somewhere in the building because of some debris. You know, I mean, doesn't make any sense. Yet there were buildings right next to the giant towers that were obliterated from the collapse of the two buildings. And they're still standing, and they had to get taken down by that nation. They were pulled. Right, Larry Silverstein? Pull Building 7? Yeah. I mean, excuse me. Pull everybody out of Building 7. Not pull the building. Pull everybody out of the building, right? Isn't that what he meant? Sure. Exactly. Congratulations on your multi-billion-dollar brand new facility, my friend, for free. Insurance fraud of the all-time level. And taking a couple thousand lives in the process as you're doing it, and thousands more because of the substance in the air. Okay, now I'm going on a 9/11 rant. Apologize. But this is all kind of related in its own way. But I know. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, I know I went all over the place, and I apologize. Fact of the matter is, though, this kind of was anticipated, and you just hope this is it or close to it. You hope that the Iranian forces are going to, I don't know. I just wish both forces and all forces involved would cease fire, and this does not escalate into a massive war. And I think I should end the episode with that before I keep going on and on into some other rabbit hole, and not like 9/11 this and New World Order that. Obviously, this whole New World Order thing is what it is. It's part of Revelation. You know, one world government, one this, one that, one. The dollar bill is the Illuminati symbol on it, the all-seeing eye. It's all right in front of us, and they're laughing at people that don't believe it because it's there. It's all right there in front of us just to see, and definitely not worshiping it. That's for darn sure. Standing up against it's a better idea, and standing on God's word instead. With that said, thank you so much for listening. Pray for peace. Pray for lives being spared. Pray for no bloodshed beyond today, and hopefully there wasn't any death. But odds are there was some. Odds are there were some, unfortunately, because it's just how it is. It's going to be extremely interesting the next few days here to see how things take place with the whole deal. Are we actually going to look for a full regime change? Because I truly doubt that the Ayatollah Khomeini is going to simply just step down and walk away. I mean, Saddam Hussein himself didn't. So, and Saddam had basically no chance whatsoever. So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Pray for peace. Pray for everything. God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America.